policy actions by authorities around the world led to a beginning of an economic recovery. And right now there is a debate about the shape of this recovery. Those who are more optimistic believe we're going to go back to potential growth very rapidly, a V-shaped recovery. I'm more in the camp of those who believe it's going to be a U-shaped recovery, anemic, subpar, below trend, what the folks at PIMCO call the new normal. And there's even a risk of a double-dip recession, downside risk, maybe low probability, but something we have to think about. So what's going to be the outlook for the US, for Eurozone, Japan, and for emerging markets? I would summarize my view by saying that emerging market economies are going to do better than advanced economies, first of all. In advanced economies, the first half of the year is going to be better than the second half of the year. The first half, we're going to see the effects of the monetary and fiscal stimulus, restocking of inventories, base effects, and other temporary factors. By the second half of the year, I see a faltering of growth in US and Europe and in Japan. Now, why do I believe it's going to be a U-shaped recovery? First of all, labor market conditions are still very weak. Unemployment rate around 10% US in the Eurozone. Job growth is going to be less labor force growth, so unemployment rate is going to go up. Secondly, this was a balance sheet recession due to excessive leverage and debt. And while there is a lot of talk about deleveraging, the private sector debt ratios are stabilizing at high level. And now, as a way of socializing private losses, we have a massive releveraging of the public sector with increases in public debt and deficits. Now, if you take this interpretation of the crisis, in addition to the weakness in the labor market, there are other reasons why the recovery is going to be anemic in advanced economies. First of all, consumption has to grow less than GDP in order to increase savings and deleverage. Therefore, GDP growth is going to be slow. Secondly, with capacity utilization at 70% US and Eurozone, capex spending by the corporate sector is going to be anemic. Third of all, the credit markets are still very crunched. In advanced economies, credit growth is still negative. Even if and when it's going to become positive, it's going to be more anemic than the years of the credit boom, and therefore the ability of the financial system to finance residential investment, construction activity, capex spending, and so on is going to be more constrained.